All right, guys, welcome to JUDO No. It's a pleasure to be here today with a good friend of mine, Grant Bogdanove. How you doing, buddy?
Great, man. Thank you. It is an honor to be here on the inaugural episode of JUDO No.
So tell us a little bit about where you're working now, Grant.
Okay, so I recently got a job at the UFC gym here in Japan. The UFC gym was set to open in April here in Japan, but with the coronavirus situation and the now nationwide lockdown here, we've done a complete shift towards online content, and the gym is closed.
Okay.
So starting tomorrow, actually, we're going to be offering online streaming live classes. And then starting a week from tomorrow, we're going to launch our online library of content, ranging from fitness to martial arts to yoga to also English. So that will be on-demand content. And we have streaming every day, plus on-demand if you can't make those streaming times.
Oh,
And
cool.
yeah, this online content and this live streaming of classes, it's not exclusively for UFC Gym Japan members. Anybody can download the app and register, and you're welcome to participate.
Oh, cool. So what brought you to Japan?
Well, that's kind of a long story, but I was born in upstate New York, raised in Iowa, to a Japanese mother and an American father. So Japan's always been a part of my life, visiting my relatives during summer vacation. And then later I started studying Japanese in college, and I wanted to live in Japan for a little bit. So I took an English teaching job opportunity in Japan. But at that time, I was also training a lot of judo and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And so what was supposed to be just a 2-year kind of like soul-searching, discover my Japanese heritage stint has sort of gone on now for 4 years because I fell in love with the jiu-jitsu scene here in Japan specifically.
Oh, wow. How is it different for the jiu-jitsu scene in Japan than other places you may have trained?
Okay, that's a great question. I'll start with how it's the same. Okay, it's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right? This is kind of like a martial art and a sport, and it has that sort of surfer vibe to it. Everyone's super friendly, welcoming, and the techniques, the camaraderie, hard training, fun. That's the same anywhere in the world, but the sort of Japan-specific aspects are kind of really interesting. So there's almost like two groups of people in Japan who practice jiu-jitsu, and I'm not saying they're two separate and distinct groups, because there is crossover. But so back in like the late 1800s, early 1900s, a lot of Japanese people migrated to Brazil to do farm work for job opportunities. And now later, like 1980s bubble economy, Japan starts modernizing. A lot of those people with Japanese ancestry moved back to Japan to work in factories. So there's a large population of Brazilian people with Japanese ancestry here in Japan.
Oh,
Now
wow.
they were absorbing all that Brazilian jiu-jitsu in Brazil, and they brought it back here. So central Japan, which has a lot of factories, therefore a lot of these Brazilians with Japanese ancestry, is known as a powerhouse of jiu-jitsu here in Japan.
Oh, and that's the last place where you lived, right?
Yeah, I was living in central Japan for almost 2 years, training with like exclusively Brazilians. There's maybe like 5 Japanese guys in the gym of like probably upwards of 50 members.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, that was a great experience. It was awesome. And the other kind of like group of people are just native Japanese people who practice jiu-jitsu here, mostly in Tokyo. Tokyo is probably the strongest, like the biggest powerhouse of jiu-jitsu. Tokyo and then central Japan. Tokyo being native Japanese and central Japan being these Brazilians with Japanese ancestry. Now this
Oh,
is all
okay.
just my experience and my opinions.
Well, that makes sense. Tokyo
Yeah,
has the
yeah.
biggest population, but central Japan maybe has the the heritage of jiu-jitsu a little bit more. Huh?
Right, right, right,
Okay.
right. And so like Brazilian gyms, you go, class is going to start like late. The sparring is going to be the majority of the class. You know, you warm up a little bit, you do some shrimps, maybe do some drills, uh, learn one or two techniques, and then just spar hard for like 45 minutes. Now, Japanese gyms are like super technical. Sparring might only be 10 or 15 minutes in a beginner's class. Everything starts on time, everything ends on time, very technical. And people don't really go like crazy hard like they do in the Brazilian gyms. Um, Obviously, there's exceptions to all of this, but this is just my observation.
Well, man, that's a great experience. So you already mentioned some of the stuff going on, but your gym. But what is the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at UFC gym like? Or
Okay,
what plans do
so
you have?
yeah, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu program at the UFC gym is standardized worldwide. UFC gym is a worldwide brand, and so the product must be delivered the same way, whether it's in Singapore, whether it's in Japan, whether it's in the United States. Um, so basically, there's a set curriculum of techniques, and me, as the instructor, within the bounds of this curriculum, I am expected to sort of express my personality, my characteristics, and my techniques to the students.
Nice. And did I hear you mention something about like actual English teaching and martial arts teaching?
Oh yeah, yeah, great, great point. I wanted to touch on that a little more. So the UFC Gym Japan specifically is kind of unique in that we offer martial arts, we offer fitness, and then we also offer English education. Um, and the great thing about English education at a gym is there's this social phenomenon called psychological phenomenon called priming. Now,
Okay.
priming is where after exercise, the brain is ready, the brain is pliable. It's almost like a sponge ready to soak up knowledge. So, as opposed to not exercising and just hitting the books, when you exercise and then hit the books, you will be more eager to learn and more, you will retain the knowledge better.
Hmm. Yeah, that's really fascinating because it reminds me when I was writing a paper in college, I just couldn't get anything done, and then I went for a jog, and for some reason it made more sense. I don't know. I thought I just needed a break, but maybe I just needed some exercise.
Yeah, it's all chemical. It's all about endorphins, serotonin, releasing the stress hormones from the body. Exercise is key. So exercise, I think, is a vital part of society, which is why I'm really surprised that gyms are in lockdown here in Japan, because I think people are going to start going stir crazy if they don't exercise and, like you said, like get that fog out of their brain. So UFC Gym Japan is offering online classes starting Monday. I think I mentioned before, and
Monday.
these are open to anyone. So it'll be like a 30-minute session of exercise, followed by an approximately 30-minute session of English education. All streaming, available at your home, um, available to anyone who downloads the app. Just go to the App Store, type in UFC Gym Japan. You can reserve your class spots right then and there.
Nice. And this is interactive on this app, or are you just watching content?
So this app is going to provide two things. One, the online streaming, which is live with a coach and later on an English teacher. So first you'll be with a coach, then you'll be with an English teacher, and that's live. Okay, streaming from the UFC gym.
So you can
You'll work
comment
out,
and
you can speak, you can comment, you'll be working out live, and then you'll be learning live. You can interact with a native English speaker. It's really a great opportunity for anyone, even if you're not a member of the UFC gym. And
nice.
so for those people who can't necessarily make those set times for the live streaming, a week from Monday, the UFC Gym Japan will be launching a library of online on-demand content. So this is content that you can use whenever you want to, wherever you are. And we've set up a 5-week challenge program where you can build instead of just doing one workout here, one workout there. You can select your workouts, find a plan, develop your plan, and then execute. So whatever goals you may have fitness related, we're here to help with that.
Well, nice. Well, so you work with setting goals, but I'm sure a lot of people like, oh, I'm gonna have a goal. I'm gonna lose 5 kilos or 10 pounds. Um, but if that's just your goal, what keeps people from getting that weight back or actually being able to improve themselves? Well, do you have anything for that?
So consistency is key. And when you're motivated and you have a personal coach, a personal trainer, someone like me or any other qualified personal trainers we have at UFC gyms to help you understand your goals and how to keep those goals, you talk about before and after. You got a before and after pick, 5 kilos of weight loss, and then you're feeling great. What happens after that? You mentioned the yo-yo effect. At the UFC gym, Japan, we talk about before, after, and after. So after you lose those 5 kilos, what's the second after?
I don't know. I haven't thought about that.
Your life will change. Okay, your life will change. I haven't been drinking the Kool-Aid, UFC Gym Japan. I am the Kool-Aid.
You mix the Kool-Aid. Yeah,
I am the Kool-Aid, man.
I like that.
Oh,
I like
yeah.
that. Oh, yeah. Busting through that wall, son. Man, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, in all seriousness, it's great. I'm super excited for this gym. It's a great opportunity, like for me as an individual, but also for Japan as a country to get fit, to get into fighting, and to get educated.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of people are we going to see like training? Is it just going to be like a bunch of UFC fighters? Can like normal people still get a good workout? Do they have to worry about fighting somebody?
No, this is a family-friendly, fitness-oriented gym. If you want to train like a fighter, if you want to be a top conditioned athlete like UFC fighters, we can provide that to you. The facility has top of the line weight training and martial arts equipment. We have like over 10 punching bags, mat space, dumbbells going up to 50 kilos, free lifting machines, everything you could ever want. But it goes deeper than just that, because we have all these classes that focus on teamwork and family and building yourself up. So you're probably going to see families, moms drop their kid off at BJJ, then goes to take a yoga class. Dad comes in, gets a lift, drops the kids off at English, right? The whole family, mom goes to yoga, dad goes to BJJ, kids go to English. So it's going to be a family-friendly gym, but I'm just putting this out there. If anyone wants to train hard, BJJ, like, I'm ready. Let's roll. Anyone is welcome.
Nice. No, man, that sounds awesome. So what are some things like personally, some plans or goals you have for the near future?
So what I've been working on for the past 2 years was making BJJ my main thing. And I started by just, nose to the grindstone, training every day, twice a day, competing all the time, just trying to build myself up. And that led to private lessons. So like 3 years ago when I was a blue belt, I'd go to Tokyo, double gold, Asian Open, bring back some snacks, which is custom in Japan. You bring back snacks after you take time off.
Omiyage. Don't come back with no omiyage.
Exactly. You take some time off from work. It's nice to show like, here's some cookies, guys. Sorry I was gone. And I always used to bring my medals and show my medals and say, guys, this is what I got. Thanks for like covering for me when I was gone. And everyone always asked me, so how much did you make? And I said, with shame in my eyes and guilt in my heart and uncertainty in my soul, I said, I actually paid about $100 to fight the tournament, and I paid my own hotel and I paid my own transportation, and all I got was a photo for my Instagram. And then after that, you fast forward a year and a half, I'm working part-time and I can afford to work part-time and train a lot because I have private lessons in jiu-jitsu now, which is enough supplemental income to support my lifestyle.
Nice.
And then I go back home to visit my family, and a family friend, old lady, she's like, so what are you up to? I'm saying, well, I'm teaching English part-time, and the rest of my time is devoted to BJJ. And she's like, you making any money? So yeah, make a couple $100 a month, enough to tide me over, enough to pay the bills. And at that time, I was so proud of myself, you know, because I didn't have to be so ashamed and say, I'm actually spending all of my own money for this. I got a sponsorship, shout out to Alma, so I don't have to pay for any gear anymore in BJJ, which is also great, very fortunate.
Yeah.
And now finally, I got a full-time salaried job with benefits at the UFC GYM due to the fact that I've been grinding so hard in BJJ.
So stay with it, man. So something really interesting that you mentioned, though, and it's a little bit of sidetrack, but as far as your opponents and the culture of the gym, how is it different training in the States as opposed to Japan?
So I'll tell you what, I was a wrestler, and nowadays there's a lot of these young guys that come up with only BJJ. You know, they start when
It's
they're 8
different,
years
right?
old, and they're like Berimbolo, 50-50, worm guard, squid guard, jiu-jitsu phenoms. They don't have like a backbone, like a sport that they started in and then shifted over to BJJ. There's a lot of these guys that are pure BJJ guys. But me, I was a wrestler. You wrestled. We both did judo. And in America, you walk into a BJJ gym, like a lot of the guys were former wrestlers.
Or had something,
But,
yeah.
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 And I mean, a lot of the good guys, they had wrestling, okay? Because that's, a lot of people say you wrestled, you're automatically a blue belt. Now in Japan, it's not wrestling. Like wrestling is so minor league here. It's judo. So all the guys in jiu-jitsu, a lot of them have backgrounds in judo. So it's different, you know. A guy with a judo base, because in judo, they already know submissions. They understand chokes and arm locks. So it's a lot different rolling with judo guys, the wrestlers, and also rolling with BJJ guys.
Yeah, that's interesting to think about. I mean, they're both grappling arts, but the whole idea of maintaining position and your objectives are different in judo and wrestling.
Yeah, I think a lot of the techniques are the same. A lot of the movements, the mentality is the same. It's just the rule set dictates which of those techniques you use, you know.
Right, that's true. Like going all the way through on a uchimata, you know, if you know you're going to get that ippon, then might as well throw yourself into it. But if you know you slip up and they're going to take your back, well, that mitigates, like, that completely changes the strategy. It doesn't make one wrong, right or wrong. Of course, if you did it uchimata on solid concrete, you probably won't be able to take your back, but who knows? You know, that's a really interesting, the situations are just different. But
so as a wrestler, when I transitioned over to BJJ, one thing I had to learn really fast right off the bat was not getting guillotined when you shoot in. And wrestling, when you shoot in, you got to be super explosive and hard to just drive. But if you do that in BJJ, you're going to leave your neck out and get your ass guillotined.
Okay.
Same thing with judo, like you mentioned. You throw an uchimata, you throw an ippon seoi as hard as you would in a judo match. Yeah, you might get your 2 points in BJJ, but you'll probably get your back taken, maybe even swept. So chilling out on takedowns is what I would give as advice to someone who's transitioning to BJJ from a more explosive sport like wrestling or judo.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you don't have to be like, you gotta be thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just like go, 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 get by. Wait a minute, where's my neck? Where's my chin? Where's my hands? Which
exactly.
You got to think a little bit more. Or it's an interesting thing. Know where your head is. I've seen several wrestling coaches that just said go, 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 and it's like, no, sometimes you got to think. Yeah. Which actually goes up when you start wrestling with higher level wrestlers too, that know how to do different counters and headlocks and stuff like that. But at a base level, there might not be somebody that can threaten you with that.
Mm-hmm. No, man, thanks for having me on the very first episode of JUDO No. It's great. So, yeah.
Cool.
If anyone ever wants to come to Japan and train, feel free to hit me up. I speak Japanese. I can recommend gyms to train at. I can personally recommend places to train at. I can
nice.
set you up. You can come train with me. If you want to come to Japan, yeah, I can show you around anyone. Jiu-jitsu, judo, MMA, whatever. So just hit me up, maybe on Instagram at Grant Bogdanove. I'll plug it right here in the post-production, okay? But no, yeah, seriously, hit me up.
Let me switch the screen. Okay, now do it. Now point it.
All right.
Now point it at
so, Grant Bogdanove on Instagram. Hit me up if you're ever stopping by Japan when this virus chaos subsides, and I can introduce you guys to various gyms, sites to see, anything.
Nice. All right, thanks, Grant. That was awesome.
All right, bro. Awesome. Thank you. Peace.